Hello, everybody out there in YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and we're coming once again to bullshit, well, kind of about nothing. The previous video that we went ahead and we put out, we had a lot of criticisms and a lot of concerns about the Atari box, which is making its rounds in news with a lot of YouTubers that are out there and a lot of online sites and everything, okay? And we voiced our opinions. Look, there are a lot of things that we're concerned about. But, you know, the reason why we go ahead and we go out of our way to bring these up is because, yes, we are middle-aged guys, and yes, we have been gaming ever since the early 80s, all right? So, suffice it to say, we have probably over 100 years combined of gaming between all of us together, all right?
Easily.
Yeah. And I don't think that, the thing is that that's not an exaggeration either. If you just take into account how old we are, something for, yeah, something like that, all right? That actually kind of brought the question up while we were chatting offline. So if we're worried about this particular console, what was the console that we've dealt with over the past, I don't know, 20, 30 years in our gaming, you know, experience that was probably the hardest to deal with, that had the most bullshit attached, okay? And that is what we're going to go ahead and bring up in this particular video here. Now, I'm going to lay out this disclaimer just to go ahead and to kind of quell the fanboys out there, all right? I know you're going to have issue with this video, all right? In which case, you're going to have scathing comments for us if you decide to leave them. If you don't, just go ahead and hit dislike and run away, all right? But if you do go ahead and leave a comment for us and start a conversation, I thank you for that, all right? But if you're going to go ahead and say, you know, fuck you, whatever console was great, you know, that was the lifeblood of my childhood, good, kudos for you, good for you. But fuck you right back, okay? Because the thing is that these are particular consoles that, you know, over the last 20, 30, 40 fucking years of our life, we went ahead and we've dealt with that. It's like, wow, dealing with this was a pain in the ass, okay? And if you think about all the myriad consoles that are out there across all the multiple generations that have actually hit the market, if you're really honest with yourself, you could probably find something that's very near, dear, and close to your heart that was like, wow, I was really willing to deal with a lot of bullshit to game on this console. And that's kind of what we're covering right now in this particular video. Without me slurring my words any further, all right, yes, I am drunk. I'm going to open up the floor. Guys, what particular console did you happen to deal with that, you know, just had a lot of bullshit attached to it that you want to go ahead and talk about right now? Go ahead. The floor is open.
Does portables count in this conversation?
Of
Yes.
course.
Because
Yes.
you said console, so okay, I was want to make that clear. Now look.
The two-step system that you could only go 2 steps away from the AC adapter.
This was marketed as a portable. Okay. Any of you know what? I got his one of his other parts here. These two things by Sega. If you played these as portables, like if you wanted to take a trip somewhere or even to ride the bus back in the day, fucking, if you made it past, you know, one stage in the games that you were playing on these, congratulations, you had either more battery than me or so on. Now, look, I understand that this thing has rechargeable battery packs. I have one, but still, fucking it didn't last that fucking long, okay?
Question. How many AA batteries did that fucking thing take?
This takes 6.
So you have to have a pack of batteries in your pocket.
Hey, wait, check this out. This one doesn't have any. This one has a rechargeable pack. That didn't really last that fucking long. Mm-hmm. And you know what's annoying about this? You cannot beat the first X-Men game on it. You want to know why? This doesn't have a fucking reset button on it. You need a reset button in order to reset the fucking computer on a fucking computer stage after you destroy it on the first X-Men fucking game in order to fucking beat it. You cannot do that on the fucking Sega Nomad. Gray Mouse, you have the floor.
Hold on, let me jump in front of Gray Mouse, because the thing is that my particular experience, the first one that I'm going to bring up, is also a Sega system. All right.
Oh God. No.
Look at this fucking monstrosity. All right. This is the Sega CD. Okay, and the thing is that I have the 32X attachment, which is someplace in the bowels of my closet somewhere. All right. But yeah, if you wanted optical drive functionality and CD storage and everything else and CD quality audio, this was a monstrosity that you needed to go ahead and get with the original Sega CD console. Now, you see, from the front here, it's not too bad. It's actually rather attractive, if not big, all right? Here's the thing, though. Now, granted, I have a modded Genesis, all right, with the S-video out and the audio out, okay? So if you wanted to go ahead and actually use a Sega CD, you see these audio things right here? These are audio inputs, okay? So you had to go ahead and sync up the audio inputs. So you had to use the stereo headphone jack right here to go ahead and put into the stereo headphone jack right here to put these audio outs to your fucking stereo or to your TV. All right. Not only that, but if you wanted to get AV out, you had to go ahead and go through here. All right. So you literally, just for the Sega CD and the Sega Genesis alone, you had one AC adapter, two AC adapter, one link cable, one audio RCA cable, one audio AV cable. If you were connected through audio AV, not through RF, which fucking sucked. Okay, all right. And if you had a 32X, guess what? You had the 32X on top, and you had a link cable from the Genesis to the 32X to another fucking AV cable to another AC adapter. So we've got 1, 2, 3 AC adapters, one link cable, one audio RCA out cable, one AV cable if you're lucky. So at minimum, if you had this full monstrosity hooked up to your TV, you were running a minimum of 7 fucking cables. Yeah.
One thing I'm forgetting to mention is how big the AC adapters were.
Oh, the AC adapters are fucking huge, and they're
it don't go on. Back in those days, it didn't go on one power strip.
No.
Yeah, and the thing is that you could probably use the AC adapter if you wrapped up the AC adapters in the sock and you decided to hit somebody over the head with it. You'd probably go ahead and hurt them really, really bad. All right. This particular setup, yeah. If you wanted the full Genesis, Sega CD, and 32X setup, which for a lot of people was quite the unicorn back in the day, because a lot of these particular components, especially the Sega CD, were really fucking expensive. All right, this is stuff that was like easily, after everything was added up, it eclipsed the price of a Neo Geo. All right, to play things like Lunar, like what Gray Mouse has right there. All right, or anything else, or God forbid you had some sort of 32X Sega CD game, like I don't know, Scottie Pippen's Slam City, or Way of the Warrior. All right,
Way of the Warrior wasn't a Sega CD.
Yeah.
I thought that only went to the 3DO.
No. There was a 32X version also that required the 32X and the Sega CD. These are some monstrous games, all right, that were absolutely fucking atrocious, and you required literally a full surge protector just for your fucking Sega system and your TV. God awful. God fucking awful. Literally. All right. With that said, Gray Mouse, go ahead. What do you have to offer, sir?
Oh, I kind of went on the opposite spectrum. I went back to old school.
Okay.
This monstrosity.
Monstrosity. Pick your words carefully.
No, I'm just kidding.
Lay it on us. Go ahead.
Nintendo's first thing into the gaming. I mean, in the gaming industry. But one thing that I really hated was that the 72-pin connector. It was a design flaw that when you put a game in, it didn't. You would expect that you push it down, you hit the power button, and you would expect your game to come up on the TV. It did when you first bought it, but as you use it, like couple months, several months, or a couple years later,
like once every 15 hours.
Yeah, it bent the pins and back.
You can go that long without playing it.
And the worst thing about it is that it got to a point where you had to take the instruction booklet, fold it up, roll it up in your hand like this, and figure out where the sweet spot is, and put it in here like this, and play it like that.
At least that lasted longer than this.
And on top of that shit, you got games like this magnificent game right here, The Legend of Zelda.
Could you imagine that game going on this and you couldn't be able to play it?
No. But what I'm saying is that this game had a battery pack, and
it lasted longer than this.
If you pull the game out of your system with the power on, your saves are gone.
But it actually tells you that.
No, but it's still a pain. It's still a pain in the ass. You still got to hold the power button and the reset button, and turn the power off at the same time and release the reset button. It tells you on the back on how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a pain in the ass to save your data. Of course, this was the first actual save where you could save your game. This was the first cartridge that ever did that. So, I mean, I can understand the how convoluted it was. But still, it was a pain in the ass. And, I mean, it's just like, also, how could I forget? Blow through the. I'm not going to blow on it because I don't want this day and age, you don't want your spit on the connector pins. In
this day and age, you didn't want your spit on that shit back then.
Well, that was the official. What are you talking about? That was the official way to do it, man.
No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that.
I've witnessed motherfuckers put their shit in freezers and in ovens in order to try to get that shit to work. I've witnessed that.
No, but no, what I'm saying was that even though this was a great system, I'm not mocking the system or anything. This is one of the best systems ever. But it had flaws.
Yeah, it was a bitch to deal with.
You can't sit there and tell me that this system did not have flaws.
Okay.
Let me throw out something else, all right? Another system that was a bitch to deal with. Now, my particular reasons are a little bit different than a lot of people's reasons out there, all right? I already explained in multiple previous videos that guess what? Way back when, actually almost 20 years from now, I used to work at Nintendo, and I was working at the call center, and I did tech support calls. So whenever somebody had they had bought a brand new system and they had issues with hooking it up or whatnot. Now nowadays it would be something like, how do I find my network settings to go ahead and change them? How would I find, okay, what do I go ahead and do to turn off Wi-Fi or whatnot, or turn it on or things like that? That would be the sort of things that I would be answered by the folks at the Treehouse in their call center right now. But if you're somebody who was back in 1998 and you're dealing with this thing right here, all right, it boggles my mind right now to actually think back at the number of folks who didn't know how to fucking deal with the audio video cables, the white, red, and yellow RCA cables that came standard with this particular system. All right? And the thing is that historically, Nintendo, every fucking Christmas, they would go ahead and they stock up. They would literally load up twice as many, triple the times as many fucking call service employees for their call center to go ahead and handle hookup calls. That's all they do. Because people couldn't fucking understand that. Guess what? At the time, remember, rewind back to 1998. But guess what? That you were using something like this, that it wasn't playing on channel 2 or channel fucking 3. All right? That you had to find the AV input channel or the audio or the AV select channel or channel 0 on it on your TV or on your fucking VCR to go ahead and take the signal from the cables that came with this set.
It's funny that you even brought that up because I have something that was a very, very, very bitchful thing to deal with.
Wow, that is ancient. That is a relic right there.
Look, I'm very, very fucking fortunate that this thing still works. I tested it out the other day, and I'm like, but fuck, man.
RF switch.
No, it's just the fact that if you look, even not having this thing all the way, or even just something fucking get fucked, and then your games will be scribbly. It won't come in clear. You will have to fuck around with this thing for ages in order to get shit clear and for shit to work.
What's worse is that if you didn't have that coax adapter on it, or if you had a TV that didn't take a coax connector.
Well, there were TVs back in the day only took the pitchfork things in the back, and that shit slurped.
How long did it take you to figure out that you didn't have the 3 or the 4 switch, or the switch all the way up on the 3 or the 4 slammed home? I'm just saying, hey, look, obviously y'all guys are laughing.
No, wait a minute. I've been hooking these things up since I was 2 years old, but I get what you're saying.
No. Look, I went over my whole setup. And I was like, what in the heck is going on? And come to find out, the little switch for the channel 3.
It wasn't on. It wasn't
way up.
Wow. I have one more thing. Now, I know I'm most likely going to get some shit for this, but fucking...
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the console. I'm talking about this thing.
Yeah.
This is not built for fighting games. I'm sorry. Look.
Or the Duke controller.
Thank God I have one of these for my Dreamcast. Well, I have 3 of these for the Dreamcast. Thank God for my fighting games that are still on it. But fucking this thing is just...
the Duke.
Oh, for the Xbox? No,
yeah.
The Xbox Duke, I could actually play with that. I could actually handle that. That has 6 buttons right here, so you can barely touch these 2. But these 2 break.
Yeah.
If you fucking fuck around with this too much, these 2 will break, especially in a fighting game. You're high up octane. Yeah, this thing was not built. And wait, and what the fuck is this? What Sega, what the fuck was that? Wait. Most controllers have the cord like coming out of this area. This thing just comes out the sleeve.
Look where the memory card's at.
No, fuck you.
I mean, that's why it was that way.
Okay, wait. Look at the original Xbox. Look at the way they did it. They had their memory cards right here, and the controller slot was the controller cord was that way. Fuck that. All right.
But yeah, this video is about consoles, man.
Wait. We said portables, but
well,
we're talking about.
No, it applies because the thing is,
like you've gone the peripherals now.
Wait.
It's a bitch to deal with. That was the whole.
It applies. Yeah, it applies. It does apply because the thing is that generally speaking.
What about the Super Scope?
Wait. What's a console without using one of these to work it with?
Yeah, yeah, but I've never owned a Super Scope, which is the reason why I didn't fucking bring it up. That's also part of the thing, you know?
Yeah, if I would have had a Super Scope, it would have been right here, or the Minister, or the Atari 5200 with the controllers not working on that bitch.
Up here? Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, why not here?
Up here for the... I had one. I had that game.
Really?
Well, we gotta sit there and thank like political and social climates for that. That really wasn't a thing that if any sort of game manufacturer had a choice to go ahead and do, they wouldn't have went ahead and made it into some sort of bazooka fucking, abomination. All right, which is what was happening. Yeah.
Now you guys going to have me. You know what else was a bitch to deal with? This thing.
All you had to do was point it at the light bulb.
No. That sound.
You can't play that stuff when you're supposed to be sleeping in your room.
Couldn't do it.
You would have ducks. You're supposed to be in bed, and all you hear is a click, click.
Look, I tried to press this as silently as I could to keep everybody else asleep. It didn't work. The spring thing on this thing is what woke motherfuckers up, and I couldn't shoot ducks or clays.
And it's still loud because it makes that even when it
On
hits
TV, I could turn it down to a point, but this would be so the spring would travel throughout the fucking house. That sound would just wake motherfuckers up.
Also, I don't have a representation of it. Well, maybe I do. Since you mentioned the portables, these fucking things are too small, dude.
What?
I mean, that's small.
Are you serious?
SP. That's what I'm saying. I don't have that particular one, but this is tiny.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, this would be light. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The light and the okay. What about the Game Boy Micro?
Yeah.
Have you ever held one of those?
It's ridiculous small.
That thing is barely the size of a GBA game.
Yeah. The Wonder Swan.
I don't own one.
Don't you have that? The Wonder Swan. Yep.
That's the GBA Micro right there.
Oh,
Yep.
you got the GBA. Take out the GBA game and compare it to the GBA Micro itself.
This is a DS XL.
Yep.
This is a GBA Micro. Look at how small that fucking screen
The
is.
screen
right?
is bigger than the fucking system.
What about
But
the
here-
SP? And the where's the phone jack?
Here's the thing with this. Here's the thing. The funny thing with this particular item right here was that what's funny about this particular GBA is that it actually has the best screen quality out of all the GBAs made.
What?
Yes, it does. It has the best screen quality out of all the GBAs made.
Huh.
It's just not the same size as the regular GBA.
Well, okay, it's called a Micro. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Wait, was it a pain in the ass?
No, here's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not that much of a pain in the ass unless you know once you understand that it's not compatible with Game Boy Color and Game Boy games because it only does Game Boy Advance games.
Right.
All right. It's actually not too bad at all. No.
But what's the point? I mean, you're saying that it's hard to deal with. That's not hard to deal with.
No, it's not hard to deal with.
Because we mentioned it. You saying that the DS was small, but what about that's what I was like? What about the Game Boy Micro?
Well, yeah.
Well, I think the thing with the DS, and this is one thing, is that up until the DS XL actually came out, all right, was that I had no reference to a bigger fucking screen, really, and that really wasn't that much of an issue for me. Like I said, when I opened up like this particular video about the games that were a bitch to deal with, I'm thinking more of the stuff. Look, I'm going to allow the fact that yes, things are going to get better. All right, Nintendo has innovated in a lot of ways. Yes, I understand. I will readily tell people that they were the first to do a lot of things: the D-pad, the analog stick, the rumble pack, and a whole bunch of other things. All right.
Gyro.
Yes, I do know fully well that other first-party publishers and other hardware manufacturers have taken those sort of things and improved upon them. Guess what? That's just the nature of technology. But to those same motherfuckers, guess what? If Nintendo never went ahead and showed that it was actually viable in the fucking industry in the first place, those other Sony and Microsoft and the other guys, they would never done it. They would never done it. All right. But with this particular one, like I said, when it comes with the Sega Genesis, the 32X, or the N64, fuck. I mean, it's one of those things where, like Grey Mouse said, with the NES, this is the type of shit that we went ahead and we dealt with on a regular basis to go ahead and game 20, 30 years ago.
Wait a minute.
Right? And
Grey Mouse had mentioned before we started this video, the very first PlayStation The PlayStation.
No.
PlayStation, yes. If you had a worn out lens, which pretty much happened to all fucking first generation PlayStations, you will have to put that bitch on its side or upside down in order to fucking get to work. Grey Mouse has witnessed the theme doing that.
I've done it.
I've done it.
I put that bitch in towels just to get that shit to work. I'm not talking about a 360 either, damn it.
Here's something. All right, now that I think about it, I maybe it's something that, okay, call me old or whatnot, but this is something that I hate to have to fucking deal with on a regular basis. Really? Really? I gotta sit there and I gotta go to the fucking store to grab a piece of plastic with some sort of fucking monetary value in order for me to go ahead and game. Really? Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh yeah, just put your credit card in where you don't need those.
Yeah, I can go ahead and I can go ahead and I can put it on the Sony, on my Sony account, and then it'll get fucking hacked, and then my shit will go ahead and rack up bills on shit that I haven't fucking authorized.
Right.
No
credit card slot on this.
Oh no.
No, but this is a thing that we got to deal with. All right, for modern consoles now.
That is a pain in the ass.
That, generally speaking, now that I think about it, is a serious fucking pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you don't want your shit stolen, that's the best way to go.
I mean, come on. We've had to deal with load times back in it, and you know what? I'm not even talking about load times from PlayStation or anything like that. I'm talking about Commodore 64.
Oh, you remember back in those days when you had to load up a one JPEG?
You have to type in. Wait, you have to use your keyboard in order to type in certain shit in order to get past certain shit. That's why I didn't own a Commodore. I couldn't fucking get. I was impatient as a gamer. I'm like, no, let me get to the fucking game.
One of the
run semicolon star dot star semicolon exe.
Yeah.
Dash pass.
I someone one of those, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want it.
Well,
games on it. I'm not. I will never get to the fucking games. I'm too impatient.
A lot of those games that are floppy disk based, like the reading RPGs, when they're loading up a screen, a picture about this big, just a regular little picture, and it comes in with a line. You don't get it all at one time like we do nowadays. It's like you got to sit there and wait for it to load.
Yeah, I think, you know what, the only thing that I would have to say was probably more cumbersome than dealing with gaming on a Commodore 64 and being able to sit there and make a sandwich and coffee for your guests who are at your house during the time you're waiting for a game to fucking load up.
Yeah.
All right. Was dealing with probably Dragon Stomper for the Atari 2600.
Oh, God.
All right. Which had an audio input into the fucking cartridge that hooked up to a cassette deck that had to sit there and play audio in order for it to play.
Wasn't dealing with that shit either.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember. I had that game.
Yeah.
Really? If you don't have it on the right spot on the tape, it will mess you up.
Yeah, you'd have to sit there and you'd have to wait hours to fucking go ahead and fucking load things. But this particular video, we're coming up to a point where we're running really short on time, and it's going to devolve into a rant and just laundry listing things, which I don't want us to do. This particular video, there's a reason why, if you folks who have actually stuck with us and looked at multiple different videos that we put on our channels, whether it be the Thieves channel, whether it be Grey Mouse channel, whether it be my own, there's a reason why we call ourselves the middle-aged guys, all right? Like I said, we have over 100 years of gaming experience between all of us, all right?
120.
Well, not all of it good, and that's the whole thing, okay? And if you've stuck around with any sort of industry, if you've been a fan of any sort of entertainment medium for that long, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can sit there and you can point out, and you can say, wow, as a kid, I thought that was just how things happened, but now that I think about it, that was a real pain in the ass to deal with.
Not the Game Gear and the Nomad.
It's a pain in the ass to deal with. Or if you didn't come to the point where you're just like, wow, that's fucked up. Well, fuck it. I'm just gonna go ahead and play something else instead. All right.
Hey, I did, and my Game Boy was ready and handy in order for me to play shit.
Yep. But what we really want to know, like we say at the end of every video, folks, is that what do you think about this? Do you remember any sort of game consoles that you went ahead and played as a kid that now that you think about back at it, you thought it was really cool back then, but you're like, wow, it was really pain in the ass to go ahead and deal with. Guess what? I'm not surprised, because all of the stuff that happens now with modern consoles, that was because of the type of shit we had to deal with back in the day. All right? We want to hear about it. You can let us know by leaving us a comment below. While you're at it, if you like what we're doing here with this particular video, mash on that like button. And if you really like what we're doing here on this channel and you want to stick around, go ahead and hit subscribe. And as Grey Mouse has mentioned before, if you want to keep current with any of those things, tap on that or click on that little bell button to go ahead and get notifications for us, because that really helps us out a lot. All right. With that, I think all of our little ranting before it really devolves into nothing and just gravelly rants about just really, base bullshit, is going to go ahead and end right here. Yeah, we've been pretty much ranting about, well, not really ranting, but discussing for the last 30, almost 40 minutes or so about game systems or game experiences that we dealt with as middle-aged guys back in the day, that when we think about back on it, we're like, wow, that was really fucked up. That was bullshit to deal with. And we want to hear what your thoughts are on that too. I'm the Reverend.
The Theme here.
I'm Grey Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming, we got to do this subject when it has to do with games. Credits.
You guys got it easy because all you do is put a disc into a tray and hit the tray button and it goes into the system. It doesn't do that now, right? You could just put the disc next to the...
But if that breaks...
Oh, you're done.
No, here's a fucked up thing to think about it. A 4.26 gigabyte download on a regular broadband connection now will actually download faster than what a Commodore 64 game would do back in the day in 1988.
Ouch.
Think about that, folks.
Could you imagine downloading all that information on a Commodore 64?
Wow, no.
You'd be there for weeks.
We would look. You'll still be waiting for it to download now, and it's 2017. Fuck that.
We've gone a long way.